Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that's constantly under siege in our digital world: our attention. It's one of our most valuable assets, right? And yet, we give it away all the time without even a second thought. So let's start with this really powerful line from the commentator Andrew Sullivan. He wrote this in an essay describing how the endless bombardment of digital information made him feel like he was losing a part of his own humanity. It's a pretty stark admission, but I bet it's one that a lot of us can relate to. I mean, does that sound familiar? If it does, you are definitely not alone. So many of us have this nagging sense that our devices, these glowing rectangles we carry with us everywhere, are just draining something essential, leaving us feeling kind of anxious and constantly distracted. And this really captures the heart of the problem. We didn't consciously choose this. Nobody sat us down and asked if we wanted to live in a hyper-connected world. It was more of a slow creep, right? A bunch of small conveniences that just gradually and then all at once reshaped, well, everything. So, how did we get so hooked? What are these invisible forces that keep you scrolling and tapping and refreshing, even when there's a little voice in your head that's begging you to stop? Well, the commentator Bill Maher, he doesn't mince words. He compares the architects of this whole system to tobacco farmers and t-shirts, and he does it to highlight just how addictive their products are. This isn't just about connecting the world. It's a business model, and it's built on capturing and holding on to your attention. And that business model has a name: the attention economy. In this system, your focus is the product. It's the commodity that gets harvested and then sold to the highest bidder, whether that's advertisers, political campaigns, or really anyone who wants a piece of your mind. What's really fascinating, though, is how they do it. These tech platforms are tapping into two really fundamental parts of our human psychology. First, there's what's called intermittent positive reinforcement, those unpredictable rewards, like a surprise like, that give you a little dopamine hit. It literally turns our phones into pocket-sized slot machines. And second, they exploit our ancient, hardwired need for social approval. They've effectively weaponized our desire to belong. And just in case you think this is some kind of exaggeration, here's a direct quote from Sean Parker, the first president of Facebook. He openly admits that they knew they were exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. They intentionally designed this social validation feedback loop to keep you coming back for more. But look, it is not all doom and gloom. Not at all. You have the power to fight back, to reclaim your mind, and take back control. And there's actually a powerful philosophy that can show you how. It's called digital minimalism. Now, this is not about rejecting technology and going to live in a cave. It's about being intentional. It's about you choosing your tools instead of letting your tools choose you. And this idea, it isn't new. Over 100 years ago, Henry David Thoreau asked a very similar question. If you apply it to our digital lives, it means asking of every single app and service, is the value this thing provides really worth the life, the time, the focus, the attention that it costs me? So, okay, how do we actually put this philosophy into practice? It really starts by rebuilding two key areas of our lives that have been worn down by this constant digital noise. First off, we need to reclaim solitude. And notice the definition here. This is not about being physically isolated. It's about creating a mental sanctuary, a space in your own head that is free from the constant flood of other people's thoughts, posts, and opinions. To put it simply, our brains just were not designed for this. We are not wired to be constantly wired. We need regular downtime to process, to reflect, to create. And without it, we're honestly risking our own mental health and well-being. Second, we need to replace all those low-quality digital distractions with high-quality, what you might call strenuous leisure. You know, we've kind of lost the art of boredom. We fill every single spare moment with the infinite scroll, and it's leaving us feeling drained and unfulfilled. This means prioritizing activities that actually challenge you, things that require real-world skills. These are the things that provide a deep, lasting satisfaction and energy. It's about turning yourself from a passive consumer into an active creator. And when you start making these changes, you're doing more than just improving your own life. You are staging a quiet rebellion. By being intentional with how you use your technology, you're joining a growing movement of people who are taking a stand against this multi-trillion-dollar attention economy, a system that was literally designed to exploit your focus for profit. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. You have agency. You have the power to decide what deserves your finite and precious attention. Your focus is a choice that you get to make moment by moment. So we'll leave you with this to think about. If you took back even a fraction of the time and energy that's currently lost to distraction, what could you build? What could you create? What could you learn? What would you do with a focused life?